Today is Titan Tuesday. We are going to talk about a young Titan who got his start in the gym space. We're going to dive into a characteristic which we all think is important and he gives an interesting take on. And then finally, I am going to talk about what high income earners can do to try and use this information to succeed. Stay tuned. This is The Will Whiten Show. First off, thank you all for watching. Please take a second, go ahead, click the like button. If you're not subscribed yet, please also subscribe. This is very helpful for the YouTube algorithm and I greatly appreciate it. So let's get to today's Titan. And as I said, this is a young Titan. He is in his mid-30s. Typically, we talk about people that have built very large businesses that may be in their 60s, or people that have died long ago and built empires of the past. But again, today's Titan is in his mid-30s and he got his start in the gym space. You may know who I am talking about. His name is Alex Hormozi. So Alex Hormozi, I'll give you a brief background, and there's many interviews in which he goes into this more. I encourage you to watch those. He got his start as a consultant for the defense industry at Booz Allen Hamilton, decided that was not for him, packed up his apartment, got in his car, drove across the country from Washington, D.C. to California and started shadowing a gym owner. Shortly after that, he opened his own gym, slept on the floor, got it off the ground, and turned it into 6 locations. So he was very driven. He enjoyed working out and thought, well, I'll give the gym space a shot. Now, fast forward, he then created and ran a gym consulting company, sold it along with a software company to private equity for a boatload of money, and now runs his own portfolio of companies while also sharing practical business advice for business owners, while also using his advice sharing as a means to be a pipeline for businesses for his portfolio companies. So he puts out a lot of great content. I encourage you to watch it if you haven't yet, or you're trying to grow a business. So that's the background. And this was about 2 months ago, I believe. He was interviewed by Logan Paul, obviously a big social media star, on Logan Paul's podcast called Impulsive. And they were trying to tease out some of the key characteristics and some kind of ways that he would view life and how they view life and how that may have helped them succeed in their areas. So Logan Paul shared that he thought discipline was very important. That is the characteristic that we're going to talk about. Now, that sounds like it would be easy to agree with. Of course, some of the most successful people must be just incredibly disciplined. They must have very strong willpower just to stay focused on something and keep chipping away at it. And this is probably true for many people. But Alex shared a story from when he was running his gyms, and he was overhearing his trainers talk, and they were trashing the clients a bit, saying, well, if the clients just had more discipline, then they could be fit, they could achieve their dreams, they could eat healthier, and it wouldn't be a problem if they could only be more like the trainers. And Alex addressed these trainers. Mind you, these are people he hired to work in his gyms and provide training services. And he didn't give too many details. I don't know if he's talking to a group of 3 trainers or 20 trainers. And he tells them flat out, and this is how he tells the story, that they are not disciplined, that it is not discipline that they are talking about. And they were confused. How could this be? How could he look at this room full of trainers, however many it was, that are probably all extremely fit, low body fat percentages? You could probably see all the muscles. They're probably very disciplined in how they eat. How could you look at these people and say, maybe it's not discipline that got you where you are? And he says a very simple message. And he says, it's not discipline because you like it. I'm going to say that again so you don't miss it. He said, it's not discipline because you like it. Many of the clients, while they may have goals to become more fit and they like the idea of being fit or being shredded or having abs, at the end of the day, they don't really like going to the gym. That's part of the reason that they may have hired a trainer anyway, to have this kind of accountability in their life. Because without a trainer, they weren't going on their own and figuring it out, and they weren't researching to learn all the different exercises and the ways to eat. But you have all of these trainers that probably have certifications, maybe have schooling, or at least have significant experience in working out. And the truth is that a lot of their success is just because they like it. They like going to the gym. Maybe they like the community aspect. They like lifting weights. They like making their muscles bigger. They like the sense of satisfaction when they're eating something healthy. They feel like they're doing something good for them. Whatever it is, that the specific reason, whatever that specific reason is, they ultimately like it. They like doing it, and the clients don't. And so it's unfair to cast that over that. It's unfair to cast that statement, they're not disciplined, over the clients. It could just be that they don't like it. And understandably, that maybe they do need then some discipline to help them along because they don't like it. But it would be wrong for the trainers to sit there and say, well, we're disciplined, look at us. You may just like it. And so what can we do with this information? What can you do as a high income earner? Well, I've also often thought before, and maybe we can use this as an opportunity to be a bit more humble. I've thought before, well, maybe I'm just very disciplined with my money, and I diligently have put money into investments for over 10 years. It's just something I do. It's second nature, and I like doing it. And that is the key. Perhaps it is not just a rote discipline or willpower all along that's driven me in the space of personal finance and trying to grow my personal finances, because I, at the same time, acknowledge that I like it. I like, transferring cash, putting in an investment account and investing it. I like seeing a notification when I have automatic investments set up. I like seeing a notification that money went into an investment. I get a sense of satisfaction from that. I think, this is building my future. This is an opportunity to get more dividends. This is an opportunity at a better retirement down the road. This is an opportunity at more freedom for my family down the road. All of these things go through my mind. I don't have a hesitance or a knot in my stomach saying, I have to invest. Now I don't get to go on this vacation or that. I don't get that feeling. I get the positive feeling from it. And so when I'm talking to other people that maybe are struggling with their investments or struggling to try and get a handle of their money, it could be that they do have to rely on some discipline, and it's because that they don't like it. I should never cast on them, and I haven't done this, but it's important to remind myself that I shouldn't cast on them the fact that, well, they're just not disciplined, but I'm disciplined, and they should be more like me and be disciplined like me. Because in reality, I can't credit a lot of that success entirely to discipline. I'm sure there's some discipline in it, but I can't credit entirely to discipline because I also acknowledge that I enjoy it. So it's important to remember that, to stay humble. And I'll give you a resource also. This was a very popular book. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he talks about goals and success and how that's all based on the habits that you have. And he completely shoves aside just the idea of just pure willpower. And this kind of goes hand in hand as think of this word, another way of saying discipline. And he says a lot of people who are dependent on just willpower will fail. And he says we do not rise to the level of the willpower that we have. We fall to the level of systems that we have. And I'll say that again. We don't rise to our level of willpower. We fall to our level of systems. And I'll give you just a very basic example. Say you have a weight loss goal. Now, if you have a bunch of candy or a bunch of sweets that would not be productive to your weight loss goal, and you have this big bowl of sweets on your kitchen island and you walk by it every day, you are going to have an incredible amount of willpower to try and fight the urge and fight the possible sugar addiction and salt addiction to not just grab a piece and have that unravel your goals. And so that's relying too much on the willpower idea. Really, you'd be more successful if you fall back on the system idea and if you can design a system. So how can you design a system in which you walk through your kitchen and you're not tempted to grab candy from this big bowl that could be counterproductive to your weight loss goal? And that would be to not have the candy in the bowl in front of you and for you to see it all the time. So you should, that's how you would design that system. You would remove that from your eye line so you're not as tempted to have it. Put it in your closet or pantry. And or you go a step further, don't buy it in the first place. Oh, well, I walk down the grocery store aisles and then I see it and I can't resist the urge to buy it. Okay, well, maybe just order your groceries so that they're all ready for you when you go, and you just pick them up and you don't even go in the grocery store, because maybe it'll be a lot easier on the app or on a phone app or on the internet to pick the food that you really need and not have to and not pick the sweets that might be hurting your goals. So that's just a very basic example of trying to design your life, design the systems in your life in a way that can help you succeed and not make it so that you have to completely fall back on your willpower, on a sense of discipline to try and get things done and try and make progress. So that is all I have for today. Titan Tuesday. Alex Hormozi, very successful in the gym space, sold his companies, and now runs a portfolio of companies that makes, I believe, over $300 million in revenue a year. And he talked about discipline. It's not discipline if you like it. So what can we do? Try and stay humble and realize if you're succeeding in an area of life, it may not be because you have discipline. It may be because you just like it. And what can you do in areas that maybe you don't just like and that do require some more of that discipline? We'll try and still not fall back on that discipline. Try and design things in your life such that you are not tempted and having to rely on discipline. Try and design systems, try and organize your life in a way that makes it easier to achieve your goals. So that's it for today. Have a good night.